on, everybody? Today we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be reviewing some juices I've got from a local juice company called the Prohibition Juice Company. Now I've got 3 of their 4 current products: Speakeasy, Syntax, and White Lightning. You may notice a little like naming convention going on with how they've set up their brand, which I think is pretty cool. Prohibition, obviously, you know, where they outlawed the use of alcohol in the U.S., but White Lightning, which was a name for moonshine, Syntax, which is, you know, think about it, sin tax, and a Speakeasy, which is, you know, where they went and they illegally served alcohol. There's also another juice in their lineup called 18th Amendment, which I don't have. I've got these 3. Let's go over the flavor profiles of these first. Now, just as an aside, these are all in plastic bottles or unicorns that I put in myself because I'm not a big fan of glass bottles. Doesn't matter. When I get their juice, it's in a 120 and it's in a big bottle. So I like to break them down into unicorns so I can use them easier in drippers or in my tanks. So let's go over the flavor profiles. First one here, Syntax. What I like about these is they say right on the side what they are. This is a peanut butter custard. This is very good. The Syntax, which I've got in this mod here, for this review, everything is in a sub-ohm tank in a Cleto 120. Every one of their juices is in the same exact tank, all in Cleto 120s. For the purpose of the review, to keep it, you know, balanced where all things are the same. So Syntax, peanut butter custard. Nice long pull on that, and that's at 105 watts. The flavor on this is very good. What I like about this peanut butter custard, I'm a big fan of peanut butter juices. Now, like Peanut Butter Buster by Higgies is one of my all-time favorites. This peanut butter custard, though, has the creaminess. It's got the custardy creaminess to it that I really like in most juices, and mixed with the peanut butter, the way they've done this, excellent. I definitely recommend Syntax, the peanut butter custard. Excellent juice. And it's, like I said, the smoothness that you get on the exhale. You definitely get the peanut butter on the inhale, and on the exhale you get kind of the custardy smoothness. Great combination, balanced very well, very nicely made juice, and definitely something I'm jazzed on. Next up, White Lightning. Now this is the watermelon lemonade, and a lot of people, friends of mine, specifically some of my co-hosts on Welcome Home, they're not big fans of watermelon. They didn't think they would like them, and you know, I've got a couple of them to try things and maybe they like it, but me, I'm a fan of watermelon. Like Aries Ram, I love Aries Ram by Higgies because it's got a lot of nice flavors in it. But this is a watermelon lemonade. What I like about this one, is that the watermelon on the inhale, the lemonade on the exhale, and kind of in the middle, it's just a really nice combination of both. I have one issue with White Lightning, and that issue is that I go through it too fast. I searched for a long time for I'm still looking for a good strawberry, but a good watermelon vape that's more pure watermelon flavor. White Lightning is it. Now, the lemonade isn't too tangy or overpowering. A lot of lemonade vapes I've tried, the lemonade part of it becomes a little too tangy, like a little too, like stings the nostrils a little too much, like especially if you exhale through your nostrils. And that's one of the things I don't like about a lot of lemonade vapes, is that the lemon is too prevalent. It drowns out everything else, and I'm not a big fan of lemonades or lemon flavored vapes, but this one gives a very nice balance between the watermelon, the sweetness of the watermelon, the tartness of the lemonade. So that's another good one to try. Now for the one that I just got this. I picked this up yesterday. This is Speakeasy. Now, what Speakeasy is a root beer float. And I love root beer. I haven't had an actual root beer in about, I don't know, fucking 3 years. Because I don't drink soda. But I loved root beer floats. I mean, they are awesome. They taste like root beer and ice cream and whatnot. It's just awesome. So, when I got this juice yesterday, I was really jazzed. And I was at Vape Works in Comac on Long Island, and Colin from Prohibition was in it, as he often is. And I was like, "What do you guys got? You know, I want to try something new from you guys. So let's see what I haven't tried." So there was the choice between picking up 18th Amendment and Speakeasy. And I went with Speakeasy because it smelled like someone just opened up a can of root beer, and it, you know, I did a knuckle test on it, and it was awesome. So I mean, the whole time I was sitting there, I kept opening it up and smelling it, going, "Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have fun with this one." It does not disappoint. This is probably the purest flavor, the purest representation of a root beer float that I have ever had outside of an actual root beer float. Now here it is on a Q class in a Cleto 120, and this is at 105 watts. Okay, so obviously cloud production is good, but the flavor is incredible. You get the inhale, you get the root beer, the taste like you get when the ice cream and root beer mixes. The exhale, you get just that great, like, kind of tangy sweetness you get from root beer, and it's cool. It gives like, and I don't know how they did this, but Colin explained it to me a little bit. That they've added like a cooling sensation to it because it's supposed to be like a cold root beer float. They pulled it off perfect. I mean, this is by far the best root beer vape there is. If you like root beer, give it a shot. I mean, definitely give this stuff a shot. Now, they've got another thing coming out that I am absolutely, completely, like, on pins and needles waiting for, and I'm hoping it's within the next week that it gets released. But they've got a Golden Oreo that I've tried a couple of times through various iterations of the juice. I think he told me yesterday they're on version 22 right now, and they're waiting for it to go through their testing process before they actually have it produced and get it on the shelves. They've made a Golden Oreo that I can only describe as a cross between crack and sex with a supermodel. It's amazing. It's like, my God, this stuff is good. So when it comes out, I will be having a couple of 120s of it, and I'll be running through a review of it. One thing they do that I found very interesting was they take a while to put a juice to market, and that's good. They go through various iterations of the juice. They keep perfecting it. They keep changing the formula to get it to where they really want it. You know, they start with a basic profile that they want to make, and then they go through the steps to get it to where they need it to be. Their testing is actually pretty intense. They go through several different tests. One of which they call the Modfather test. They do a RDA test. They do a sub-ohm test. So they put it through all these different atomizers on series and parallel, just to make sure it works well in all different types of vaping. And I found that pretty interesting because when I had asked him when Golden Oreo was coming to market, he said, well, it still has to pass the sub-ohm test, which is done in a Cleto. And then he had gotten a message saying, well, it's passed the sub-ohm test. So I guess what they do is they take it and they run it for a few days in the various atomizers, and then it has to get approved by all the people within Prohibition. And once they all come to an agreement that that's the version we're going with, then they send it out to market. And this Golden Oreo is going to be good. That's one of the things I'm really looking forward to. So Prohibition Juice Company is a local company here on Long Island in New York. I believe in West Sayville. That's where they're headquartered. And they have a great presence here on the island at local shops. They're also available online from VVV Vapes, from VapeWorks. I'll put some links down in the description where you guys can go check their juice out. One thing I can say about Prohibition, but I mean, besides the fact that I really like everything that I've tried from them so far, is that they are well made. It says on here, handcrafted Prohibition. Handcrafted juice company. Right, Prohibition Juice Company, handcrafted. That's a great description. The handcrafted, you know, you hear a lot of, oh, it's handcrafted, this and that. Well, this is actually handcrafted. This is the kind of stuff that it's gone through a lot of testing through a group of people, and they make sure it's right before they put it to market. It's done well. They use quality ingredients. It's just a well-crafted juice. The ratios on these are 75-25. This is actually a 1.5 Nick. My others are 3s. Well, no, that's a 1.5. Syntax is a 1.5. White Lightning's a 3. And Speakeasy is a 1.5. I like the fact that they make a 1.5. I'm not a big fan of nicotine juices in general because I've been vaping for so long. I really don't need the nicotine. I cut myself down from, I mean, when I started with cardomizers, I think I was at 30 meg juice. It was ridiculous. But, you know, I can vape zero nic and not get any kind of craving. So I'm kind of past the nicotine part of it. But having a 1.5, I think, is a really good option for those of us wanting to cut down to zero eventually. I mean, to me, the goal was always to get to zero nic. But at this point, I'll take 1.5s. And you don't get any of that kind of nicotine flavor tainting, you know, the amount of nic in it. And to me, because taste is subjective with everybody. I mean, it's different for everyone. The lower the nicotine, to me, the better the juice tastes. So at the 1.5 nic, I find that to be a great compromise to still get that little bit of nicotine you might need, but not have the, you know, the kind of flavor contamination that nicotine usually brings. So in closing, I would like to say that the Prohibition Juice Company, they've got some very good juices on their hands. They've got some excellent stuff. I know Colin said that pretty soon they would have their own website, but right now they're going through distribution, and they've got a couple of different people that carry them online. And I'll put a couple of links down in the description for everybody. But do yourself a favor. Go check these guys out. They're also going to be a sponsor at our after-party event for 1 Billion Lives on March 15th at VapeWorks in Comac, Long Island. If you're going to the show, you'll be able to go to the after-party and check them out. But, yeah, that's about it for me, guys. Check out Prohibition, check out the links, and have a great day.